Shiva Mahapuranam, Rudra Samhita, Sati Khanda, Chapter 4, Marriage of Kamadeva. Narada said, O disciple of Vishnu, O immensely intelligent one, O destiny and the Lord creation of the universe, you have narrated the surprising story of the sports of Shiva, which are like the nectar. O dear one, what happened thereafter? You please tell me. I am interested in the listening to the story of Shiva. Brahma said, after Shiva left for his abode and Brahma disappeared from the scene, then Daksha Prajapati, having been reminded of my words, said to Kamadeva, Daksha Prajapati said, O Kamadeva, you better make this damsel your wife, who is quite beautiful, possesses all the virtues, and has been born out of my body. She compares well with our temperament. She is quite illustrious and would always move along with you. She would always be under your command as per your will as well as the dharma. Brahma said, thus speaking, he created a damsel out of his sweat and giving her the name of Rati and presented her before Kamadeva. O Narada, Kamadeva, after marrying the daughter of Daksha Prajapati, known as Rati, was immensely delighted. Thereafter find Rati, his wife, to be favorable according to his virtues. Kamadeva became passionate for her. She was of fair complexion, tremulous side glances, and eyes resembling the fawn's. She admirably suited to his love of pleasure and offered him sufficient sports. Looking at her eyebrows, Kamadeva developed a doubt whether the destiny had placed them over her face just to insult his bow. O dear one, her side glances moved swiftly. Looking at her beauty, he lost faith in the movement of his weapons. Enjoying her natural beauty and the fragrant breath, Kamadeva became disinterested in the wind of the Malaya mountain. She had all the auspicious symbols. Her face resembled the full moon. Therefore, looking at her face, Kamadeva was unable to distinguish between the moon and her face. Like the bud of the golden lotus, her breasts with nipples appeared like the bees hovering over them. Kamadeva had kept aside and forgotten the string his flowery bow with tumultuous Kamadeva had kept aside and forgotten the string his flowery bow with tumultuous humming sound of the bees because her eyes were riveted to the auspicious necklace with eyes of the peacock's tail suspended over her firm protruding plump breasts down to her umbilical part. Her navel was quite deep and two eyes appeared like the two red lotus flowers over her lotus-like face. Kamadeva looked at the slender-waisted damsel, who had the gold complexion by nature like the golden pedestal. Her both the thighs resembled the trunks of the banana tree and were quite pleasant. Kamadeva looked at them like his own strength. The heels of the feet of Rati and the four parts of her feet were of red color, and looking at them, Kamadeva became friendly to them. Her both hands, resembling the Kimsuka flowers, were red and with well-rounded tapering fingers were quite beautiful. Both her arms resembled the lotus stalk, which were soft and glossy. They resembled corals putting forth beams of splendor. Her hair was black like the clouds or resembled the tail of the chamar cow and were quite long. Because of the long hair, the beloved of Kamadeva looked quite beautiful. As as the Ganga emerging from the Himalaya was housed by Shiva over his head, similarly Kamadeva accepted Rati quite delightfully. Her hands were embossed with chakra and the lotus, and her arms resembled the lotus stalk, and both her eyebrows resembled the waves of the Ganga. Her eyebrows resembled violets, her eyes resembled the lotus flowers, her curly locks of hair falling over the body resembled the mossy growth in the river. She could dwell in the mind like a tree. She had a deep navel resembling a lake, a slender waist. All her limbs were beautiful, was the abode of all the beauties, and as such she appeared graceful like Lakshmi. She was adorned with 12 types of ornaments. She was well versed in the 16 types of amorous gestures and could charm all the lokas with her beauty. Besides, she could illumine all the directions with her luster. Thus, observing Rati in this way, Kamadeva enthusiastically accepted her in the same way as Lord Vishnu had accepted Lakshmi, who had lovingly arrived to him. He, having been overpowered with delight, forgot the terrific curse pronounced on him by Brahma. Kamadeva did not speak anything to Daksha Prajapati. O Narada, at that time a function was organized which increased the delight. Daksha felt quite happy at that time, and same was the case with Rati, his daughter. Kamadeva also, having been filled with delight, forgot all the pain of his heart. Thus, the daughter of Daksha Prajapati was extremely happy by getting Kamadeva as her husband. The sweet tongued Kamadeva appeared unique with Rati at that time, as the clouds appear in the evening time with lightning. In this way, Kamadeva, having been overpowered with the virtues of Rati, gave her space in his heart. As the yogis lodge Vidya, wisdom, in their hearts, Rati also, on the other hand, after having the husband like Kamadeva, looked graceful as Kamala, having moon-like face, feels delighted by getting Vishnu. Iti Shri Shiva Mahapurane Dvitiyayang Rudra Samhitayang Dvitiye Sati Khande Kama Vivaha Varnanang Nama Chaturthodhyayah. Chapter 5. The Story of Sandhya. Suta said, on hearing the words of Brahma, the excellent sage remembered Shiva with a delighted heart and spoke with pleasure. Narada said, O Brahma, O exalted one, O disciple of Vishnu, possessing enormous intelligence, you have narrated the astonishing sports of Shiva. Kamadeva, after getting the wife and after the departure of Daksha Prajapati to his abode, and your mind-born sons to their respective abodes, where did Sandhya, the daughter of Brahma, go? And where did she do thereafter? And what did she do thereafter? To whom did she marry? You kindly narrate the entire story of Sandhya. Suta said, thus listening to the intelligent son's words, remembering Shiva with devotion, Brahma, to whom all the secrets were known, said, O Narada, you listen to the complete story of Sandhya, hearing which all the ladies become chaste. Sandhya was initially been born out of my mind. Subsequently, she performed penance, and leaving that body, she was reborn in the next birth as Arundhati. She, the intelligent one, then became the daughter of the sage Medhatithi. Accepting the words of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, she started performing penance. She, the beautiful one, sought for Vasishtha as her husband, and thereafter she became adorable by all as a chaste lady. Narada said, Where did Sandhya perform the penance, and for what purpose? How did she put an end to her body, and how did she become the daughter of the Medhatithi? How did she accept Vasishtha as her husband at the advice of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva? O Brahma, you kindly speak out the story of Arundhati correctly to me, because I am quite anxious to hear about the same. Brahma said, when I first had a look at my daughter Sandhya, then my mind became lustful, but getting afraid of Shiva, I discarded her. On the other hand, the minds of the great sages who had controlled all the senses had also been disturbed at the sight of Sandhya. Listening to the words of Shiva, filled with mockery about me, she had realized that her mental aberration in regard to the sages was beyond decency. She had witnessed the behavior of Kamadeva, resulting in the delusion of the sages frequently. Sandhya was therefore exceedingly distressed about her marriage. O sage, then Kama was cursed by me, then Shiva left the place, and I also disappeared from the sight. Under these circumstances, her support was total her support was totally lost, and she became furious. Sandhya, my daughter, thought about all these things and meditated for long on the recent events. Then she, of great fortitude, was mused as to what was to be done in the given circumstances. Sandhya said, soon after my birth, finding my quite finding me quite youthful, my father having been overpowered with lust, desired to have me as his wife. Besides, the sages and the rishis, born out of the mind of Brahma, were also filled with passions at my sight, crossing the limits of decency. Wicked Kamadeva also made my own mind lustful, as a result of which, on seeing the sages, my mind became excessively shaken. Kamadeva has already achieved the reward of the sin, who has been cursed by Brahma. I also, being sinful, would surely reap the reward of the sin. I am also desirous of the destruction of this sin, that my father and my brothers became desirous of me at my sight. Therefore, there is no sinner greater than me on earth. Besides my own mind crossing all the limits, looking at my own father and brothers, developed the feeling of a husband for them. I shall myself repent for this sin. I shall burn my body in the fire as per the provision of the Vedas. But I shall establish a tradition on earth by following which the people would not become lustful. For this purpose I shall perform severe tapas. I shall establish the tradition and then end my life. The body observing which my father and brothers became desirous of having me, I have nothing to do with that body. My body, for which my father and brothers became desirous, no good deed could be performed with the same. Thus thinking, Sandhya went to a mountain, known as Chandrabhaga, which is the place of origin of the river Chandrabhaga. Thereafter, Sandhya started performing penance over that mountain. Learning about it, I, Brahma, spoke to the sage Vasishtha, who was well versed in Vedic and post Vedic literature, who had controlled all his senses, who was omniscient, knowledgeable, and a yogi who was seated beside me. Brahma said, O son of Vasishtha, you bestow proper diksha, initiate duly to Sandhya, my daughter, approaching her who is proceeding for the performing of tapas. O great sage, formerly seeing you all and me as her lovers and realizing her own lustful feelings, she had blushed. Having been overpowered with the unprecedented evil conduct, she is presently desirous of ending her life. By performing penance, she would establish a limit among those who observe limits and conventions. The chaste lady has gone to the Mount Chandrabhaga for the performing of penance. She is not aware of the method of performing the penance. Oh dear, you see that she attains her goal by means of your instructions. O sage, discarding your present form, you go to her in another form and you display to her the form of performing the penance. She is well aware of the present form of both of us. Therefore, she would never accept one in the present form. Therefore, you better take to some other form. Brahma said, O Narada, in this way the compassionate Vasishtha at my command said, I shall do so, and then went to Sandhya. Reaching there, Vasishtha found the divine lake filled with the virtues like the lake of Manasarovara. Besides, Sandhya seated there over its bank. The lake was beautiful with the lotus flowers, but because of the presence of Sandhya there, it looked more beautiful, as the sky appears in the dusk with the moon rising and the twinkling of the stars. The sage, having been filled with anxiety, looked at the red lake filled with the lotus flowers as well as Sandhya. He also saw the river Chandrabhaga on the southern side flowing towards the ocean. As the Ganga flows towards the ocean emerging from the Himalaya, similarly the river Chandrabhaga, breaking through the western wing of the mountain, flows towards the ocean. Close to the red lake over the Chandrabhaga mountain, Vasishtha asked Sandhya respectfully, who had been seated close to the lake. Vasishtha said, O lady, with simple temperament, what for have you arrived over the auspicious spot of the mountain? Whose daughter are you? What have you thought? I would like to listen to you. In case there be no secret, then tell me how have your moon like bright face faded out? Brahma said, listening to the words of the sage Vasishtha and finding him like the flames of burning fire, Sandhya offered her salutation to the brahmachari, having locks of hair over his head, an ascetic, and then said, Sandhya said, O Lord, the purpose for which I had arrived over the mountain has been fulfilled by an audience with you. I have arrived here in this lonely forest for the performing of the tapas. I happen to be the daughter of Brahma, well known by the name of Sandhya. In case you don't feel troubled, then you kindly deliver some discourse to me. This is my secret desire. I am not concerned with anything else. I have arrived in this forest unaware of the method of performing of penance. Because of this I feel perplexed and my heart is shaking. Brahma said, when Vasishtha, the foremost of the great ascetics, heard the words of Sandhya, then he put her no more questions because everything else was already well known to him. Then, remembering in his mind the Lord Shiva, who is well disposed towards his devotees, who was always engaged in tapas, then said to Sandhya. Vasishtha said, Shiva possesses the best of luster, who is known as the biggest tapas, who is supreme and deserves to be adored supremely. You should meditate upon him in your mind. You should recite the name of the same Purushottama, who is the cause of dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, besides being the eternal cause of the universe. O damsel, with beautiful face, adore Lord Shiva, who is the Lord of the Devas, with the following mantra, by which you will surely achieve everything. There is no doubt about it. The mantra is Om Namaha Shankaraya Om. Keeping silent, you should recite this mantra in your mind, performing tapas. You listen to me, the special method for the same. Keeping silent, you should take your bath and worship Shiva. The food taken should totally comprise of water in the first and the second Shashtakalas, that is 4 hours of the day. On the third Shashtakala, you should observe complete fast, even water is not to be taken. This shall continue till the completion of the penance. The rites shall be performed at the end of the each of the Shashtakala. The rites shall be performed at the end of the each of the Shashtakala. This is called the adoration of silence and yields all the benefits of the celibate life. O damsels, it fulfills all the desires. This is true. There is no doubt about it. Keeping this goal in your mind, O damsel, you worship Lord Shiva well. The moment he is pleased, he would fulfill all your desires. Brahma said. Then Vasishtha explained to Sandhya the entire method of performing penance. Thereafter the sage vanished from the scene. इति श्री शिव महापुराणे द्वितीयायां रुद्र संहितायां द्वितीये सती खंडे संध्या चरित्र वर्णनं नाम पंचमोऽध्यायः. Chapter 6. Shiva pleased with the worship of Sandhya. Brahma said, O intelligent one, O best son, now you listen to the great tapas performed by Sandhya, hearing which the heaps of sins get destroyed, listening to the method of the performance of the penance, and after the departure of Vasishtha to his respective abode, Sandhya, learning the method of the performing of tapas, felt immensely delighted at heart. Turning to the form of an ascetic, she sat over the bank of Brihallohita lake and started performing the tapas with pleasure. The mantra which had been given by Vasishtha for the success of the penance was patronized by her, and she started adoring Shiva, reciting that mantra. Concentrating her mind at the feet of Lord Shiva, Sandhya kept on adoring Shiva with a devoted mind, and while doing so, 4 yugas elapsed. With the performing of her tapas, Shiva displaying his true form to her within and outside as well as in the sky, felt immensely pleased. The form in which she adored the Lord Shiva appeared in the same form. Thereafter she found Lord Shiva appearing before her in his peaceful form as per her own imagination, which delighted her the most. Becoming nervous, she thought, what should I speak? How should I pray to Lord Shiva? Thus thinking, she closed her eyes. Then Shiva entered the heart of Sandhya, who had closed her eyes, and bestowed on her the divine knowledge, the divine speech, and the divine vision. Then, having been bestowed with the divine knowledge, divine vision, and divine speech, she offered prayer to Lord Shiva, the spouse of Parvati and the Lord of the universe. Sandhya said, O Lord, you are formless, could be known only by the true knowledge. You are neither gross nor subtle, and neither high. Therefore the yogis keep on thinking about your form. You are the creator of the universe. Salutation to you. You are peaceful, spotless, unblemished, beyond the human knowledge, unblemished in your luster, well versed in the path leading to Parabrahman, beyond the path of darkness, and having a delightful mind. Salutation to you. Your form is solitary, pure, luminous, free from illusion, knowledge come bliss, undecaying by nature, eternal, blissful. You are delighted at the outcome of the truth and prosperity. You purify even the pure ones. I offer my salutation to this form of the Lord. Your form can be imagined with the application of the true knowledge, which is different from insentient things. You are the form of Sattva to be meditated upon, the form of the soul, which is the utmost essence and which is the holiest of the holy things. Salutation to you. You are a yogi with pure Saguna form, lovely, bedecked in jewels as well as the camphor, and which holds in his hands the attributes of Abhaya Mudra, trident, human head, salutation to such a form of a yogi. You have the forms as the sky, the earth, the directions, water, flames, and eternal time. Salutation to you. Salutation to Shiva of unmanifest form, from whom unmanifest primordial nature and Purusha issued forth as its effect. The one who creates the universe in the form of Brahma preserves in preserves it in the form of Vishnu and destroys it as Rudra. Salutation to you again and again. You are the cause of all the causes, bestowers of the divine nectar like wisdom and prosperity, bestower of the fortunes of the people of the world, form of luster, besides being the greatest of the great. Salutation to you, from whose feet have emerged the earth, directions, the moon, Kamadeva, Bahirmukha, and other gods, the sky from the navel as well as the universe. Salutation to such a lord like you. O Shiva, you are the greatest of the great, the supreme soul. Besides being the form of the various types of knowledge, you are the pure Brahman, the supreme Brahman, and the utmost object of deliberation. How can I fully pray to Lord Shiva, who is beyond beginning, middle, or the end, from whom the entire universe has emerged, and who is beyond the mind and speech, whose form is beyond the description of Brahma and other gods, the ascetics and the sages? How could I be able to describe his form? Your form, which had been beyond the comprehension of the gods and the asuras, how could a woman like me know about your form? O Lord, you are the personification of penance. Salutation to you. O Lord of the gods, O Shiva, salutation to you again and again. Brahma said, the Lord who is favorably disposed towards his devotees, Parameshwara, Lord Shiva, felt extremely delighted hearing the prayer of Sandhya. Her body was covered with bark of the trees and deer hide, and her head was decorated with the matted locks of hair. Her face resembled the lotus flower that fades out with the snowfall. Looking at her, the compassionate Shiva said, Maheshwara said, O gentle damsel, your prayer and tapas has delighted me the most. Now you ask for a boon. You ask for the desired boon. I am extremely pleased with your tapas. Let you meet with welfare. Brahma said, listening to the delightful words of Shiva, Sandhya was pleased and she offered her salutation to him again and again. Sandhya said, O Maheshwara, in case I have been purified from that sin, in case I am fit to be blessed with a boon, and in case you lovingly intend to bestow a boon on me, in case you are pleased with me, in case you are pleased with my penance, then I ask for the first boon which you kindly give me. O Lord of the gods, after the birth, let no living being born on earth be full of lust at the time of nativity. There is another boon desired by me, that no other woman in the world shall become famous in the three worlds as I have become or shall become in future. No creation of mine shall be lustful or degraded. O Lord, whosoever be my husband should be friendly to me. Whosoever a person except my husband would cast a passionate glance at me would fail in all his efforts and become a eunuch. On hearing the words of the woman who had been absolved of the sins by Shiva, who is kind to his devotees and was delighted at the words spoken by Sandhya, told her, O damsel, O Sandhya, listen, your sin has been reduced to ashes. I have absolved you of my anger towards you. By this penance you have been purified. O beautiful Sandhya, whatever boons you have desired, I have given you, getting pleased with your tapas. You would enjoy the infancy, childhood, youthful, as well as the old ages like all human beings. After reaching the third stage of life, the living beings shall become lustful. Sometimes it could be at the end of the second stage. This is the new limitation prescribed by me because of your penance. No living being shall be lustful at the stage of his nativity. You would acquire the type of chastity which could never be achieved by any other woman in the world. Except your husband, whosoever would look at you with lustful eyes, he would become weak in his body and turned as a eunuch. Your husband would be a great ascetic with a beautiful body and would remain alive with you for 3 kalpas. Thus, whatever boon has been desired by you have been granted by me. Besides this, I shall narrate the events of your earlier birth. It has already been decided that you would burn your body in fire. I shall speak out the method for the same, which should be followed by you without hesitation. The sage Medhatithi is performing a 12-year yajna in which the eternal fire is burning. You should go and sacrifice your body in the fire of the yajna. The sage Medhatithi is performing yajna over the bank of the Chandrabhaga river at the foot of the hill. Getting rest assured, you go there. By my grace, no sage would be able to spot you, and you should enter the fire. Thereafter, you would be born as the daughter of Medhatithi. Whatever boon you have desired, keep them in your mind and enter the fire. O Sandhya, after performing hard penance on mountain for 4 yugas and after the passing of Satya Yuga, in the first part of Treta Yuga, you would be born as the daughter of Daksha Prajapati and would be married with all humility. Out of his daughters, he married 27 of them to Moon. The Moon, on his part, leaving aside those girls, loved only Rohini. Then the angry Daksha Prajapati cursed the moon. Then all the gods came to you. O Sandhya, you did not find Brahma with those gods. Keeping me in mind, looking at the sky, you would find him again. In order to get the moon relieved of the curse of Prajapati, Brahma created a river named Chandrabhaga. At that point of time, the sage Medhatithi also arrived there. There had been no ascetic comparable to Medhatithi in the past, nor shall be there in future. He, with enormous efforts, started the Jyotishtoma Yajna. The fire is lighted there, and you should end your body in the same. You are extremely purified at present. Let your desire be fulfilled. O female ascetic, I have established this place for the success of your task. O immensely fortunate one, you go to the yajna of the great sage and perform your task successfully. Thus, benefiting her, Lord Shiva disappeared from that place. Iti Shri Shiva Mahapurane Dvitiyayang Rudra Samhitayang Dvitiye Sati Khande Sandhya Charitra Varnanang Nama Shashtodhyayah.